What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be sitting here. We're gonna watch this show on Hardly Initiated. They pretty much gonna be talking about politics. So let's look into it, man.
Host Ryan Catchins.
All new conversation, new headphones. We kicking.
Yeah, absolutely. Empty studio, but it's a packed house in here today.
Agreed.
Because we have something very special for you guys. It is election week, and we have put together an all-star panel. We are in here rocking with a frequent flyer, D1, Melanie King, Anthony Logan, and Ashley Allison is here today. And we talking election 2024. Trump or Harris, who you got? Let's get to it. Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, my co-host, Ryan Catchins.
I can already tell, man. It's gonna be a powerful one right here.
You need to watch too.
I discovered porn when I was a child. My mom.
To get that white man's option out of him. Who sued me, I ran.
This is the brother I want. Don't care.
This is dope.
You need to have a threesome.
There you go. And you just got man.
See how I use an ad blocker. Very mindful, very demure. I'm not watching ads like the rest of you. But when I do, I get paid for it. Very cutesy. I think I literally found like a Google cheat code because this update lets you block ads or get paid to see them. It's called Pi, and once I started using it, I was shocked.
Let's get it, family. We
I'm
are
excited.
in here.
Listen, I like that. I like that.
We are ready.
Yo, shout out to all initiates joining us tonight. I want you to go ahead and claim where you stand. Drop red or blue in the chat to let us know how you are going to show up for the poll tomorrow. And I'm excited, man.
Yes, we
This
are.
is very new for us.
This is very new for us, guys. Y'all know we typically are talking relationships, anything that has to do with improving our families, improving our communities. But
Right.
the community is saying y'all got to get involved in this conversation because right now, this is what is impacting our families and communities. So because of that, all week long, y'all, we having this conversation. We even are going to do something special tomorrow. It's typically Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m., but we're going to do something here special tomorrow.
We are absolutely ready to go crazy. It's going to be a phenomenal show tonight, guys. Now, listen, let your voice be heard. All super chats will be highlighted right at the bottom of the screen, so you can check that out all through the evening. Also, any super chat over $20 will be read. We actually had to increase it because we know the chats is going to be crazy this evening. And, guys, don't forget, we are live every Monday and Wednesday at 8. Tyshawn told you we got something special coming for you tomorrow. And also, like and subscribe. Let's sub it up, guys. It's so many people in the chat.
Yeah.
Ghost Watch.
Yeah.
We need you to officially become a part of the community. So sub it up. We got the conversations you have been asking for. Let's get it.
And listen, guys, this is a big show. The purpose of this show here, just so you know, is so we can be educated before we make some of the biggest decisions of the next 4 years. Because listen, it's Harris versus Trump, it's conservative versus liberal, it's Democrat versus Republican. Right. Some people saying it's man versus woman.
First off, the political conversation very much seems to be a gender conversation as well. Because I mean, it's like we getting pulled over to the side by the brothers, by the sisters, asked us, hey, what does this mean? All the men I'm speaking to are voting this way, all the women that I'm speaking to are voting this way. I think we're in trouble, but I don't know if it's trouble. I think we just need to have a conversation.
And that's why we've brought the people here we have today. Let's actually introduce this incredible panel we have here today. I'm going to start with my sister here, political commentator. She has grown over 730,000 YouTube subscribers and probably 1 million on all platforms up to this point. Very vocal about this upcoming election and is advocating for Trump this year in this upcoming election. I got Melanie King here. Welcome to the platform, Melanie. Great to have you here with us, sister.
What's up?
It's good to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me. I'm looking forward to it.
Listen, I'm very excited about some of the things that you got to say. Once I saw some of those videos you put up on YouTube, I said, oh, this is very interesting stuff.
Very interesting, very captivating. So excited to get into it. Next, right over here next to you, I got a brother here who's really been growing a really powerful channel, conservative political commentator, founder, and creator of ABL's YouTube page, over 1 million subs. I'm in here rocking with Anthony B. Logan. Welcome to Hardly Initiated, my brother.
Glad to be here. I'm excited. This is a long time coming. I got a lot to say tonight.
I can already tell. He's got the flags in the back. He's ready.
Oh, first off, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Glad to have you here, Anthony. And we got a frequent flyer here of the channel, man. You talking rapper, author, educator, advocate, activist here. And one of my favorite people that pop up on my timeline.
Big
and
facts.
my brother here, man. D1, welcome back to Hardly Initiated, my brother.
I appreciate it, my brothers, my family. I appreciate y'all for the fullest, for real. And thank you, everyone that's watching tonight. Thank you, everyone that's a part of this. I'm glad that we're all in this together. And I think we have an opportunity tonight to also model for the rest of the nation what it looks like to coexist with people who may not have the exact same viewpoints as you, because I think that's very, very important during this time, especially as we lead into this election.
Absolutely. And just to be clear, my man, this upcoming election, D1 is advocating for Kamala Harris here in the upcoming election. But thank you so much for making that for really setting the tone on that note, D1. And listen, last but not least, okay, very powerful sister we in here rocking with, CNN commentator, and also this is super exciting, the Biden and Harris campaign senior advisor with more than 15 years experience.
Wow.
Building campaigns and strategies that led to victories. And I think you expecting an upcoming victory here tomorrow as well. Are we right about that, sister?
Well, we know we have a lot of voters we got to turn out tomorrow. We're not taking anything for granted, but we are hopeful, we are joyful, and we are pushing for a Kamala Harris win. So I'm glad to be here. This is my first time. So thanks for having me.
Welcome to Hardly Initiated, Ashley Allison. It is a blessing to have you and all four of you guys here today. Ryan, let us know the rules so we can understand what we're getting into here today.
Real quick breakdown for tonight, guys. Tonight's conversation will cover some key issues one by one, okay? Toward the end of the debate, we'll open up the phone lines to hear directly from you, the initiates, and of course, to our panelists, please refrain from personal attacks and excessive interruptions. I know we won't have an issue with that, but if we do, we gonna moderate. We'll do some moderation. We're gonna drop to him.
That's my job.
You're right. Shout out to all the viewers and our lovely brave, courageous initiatives, everything. Keep the comments respectful. Moderation will be enforced as needed. So I'm actually going to make a couple new people some mods tonight. Audience polls will also be launched prior to each segment and will be closed at each segment's conclusion, so we can live time get an idea of exactly what you think and exactly where you stand. And of course, again, all super chats over $20 will be read live on air by myself.
Absolutely. And we cannot forget that this episode here is brought to you by the Hardly in Love dating cards, your number one conversational piece that you got to have at home. You got to keep them in your cars. 100 open-ended questions to spark incredible conversations, whether it's when your friendships, your relationships, your date nights, your late nights, however you want to call it. Got to have these in here.
And the thing
that's
is,
in the description.
We snuck some political questions in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So
oh, wow.
we can really get those popping.
You know what? So let's go ahead and get it started. Ryan, take us in here to the first important section here of the conversation, because I'm very excited to get to it.
So, guys, it's just very simple, guys. And keep in mind, we want you to be keep in mind, we want you to be aggressive, right? Not a bunch of interruptions, but we do want you to be aggressive. So if you do have something to say, Delano's going to bring you right up. But this conversation really is about how people are making decisions. And a lot of our viewers, initiates, and everybody in the world is making decisions based on character. So there have been a couple of media personalities, politicians, commentators really giving way to what they think about the other one in each character. So we got a couple of things that I'm gonna just list here, and we'll talk about a few of them. So you got Trump, right, who has been convicted of a felony, 34 counts, and has even been in the past found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. So we'll just start there, guys. Can a conviction and criminal record so recent as this felony be forgiven prior to the election?
Okay, now if you ask me, there's only 3 qualifications to become the president, just 3. 35 years old, natural born U.S. citizen, and you got lived in the USA for 14 years. That's it. So if you're a felon, whatever it is, if the people want you and you have those 3 qualifications, you're good to go. It doesn't really matter. Now, somebody can say, hey, you know what? He was convicted of this. Although, look, if you get a rape conviction, you don't get locked up. I mean, be serious. But anyway, you can see it and be like, you know what? I don't like that. I'm not going to vote for him. But you can't get him off the ballot because of that. That's not how that works at all.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I think, I started my career actually. I'm working in criminal justice reform. So I am an avid believer of re-entering into society, working hard, that if you served your time,
But my thing is, why are we even talking about this if he ain't even get arrested? Why are we talking about this if he's not in jail for it? You know? That's my thing.
you should be able to reintegrate. You should be able to vote, even though that's not the case. The thing with Donald Trump is that he has not, he's been convicted and he's been able to kind of work around the system to not even have his sentencing hearing. So, and there are many trials that he is pending, the one in Georgia, the one in Florida with documents that he took out of custody that were privileged documents that you are not supposed to be able to do. I know personally, I used to work at the White House. I know what it's like to not be allowed to take certain documents out of that. And I was nowhere close to being the president of the United States. Also, the insurrection case that Jack Smith is pending. We won't see those things happen before the election. So he has not been found guilty, but most people who look like us never would have the opportunity to stall and delay having the criminal justice system come and make decisions. Now, if you're the president of the United States, you have some really big choices that you need to make. And I want to make sure that when you're making them, that you have the American people, Democrat or Republican, best interest at heart.
But now she just sat here and gaslighted y'all because Diddy has been rumored to be a convicted sex offender, and y'all supported him for 15 years until now. So she just gaslighted y'all on that.
And if you're thinking about getting rid of or setting your Department of Justice up so that you won't have to worry about any further conviction, that's part of the character that people are talking about. And that is part of the things. And you're right. By the Constitution, it's not disqualifying. But the question is, should it be disqualifying when a voter goes into the ballot box?
It's funny that you bring up criminal justice reform because it was Van Jones who went to Donald Trump when he became president with a group of black men that could not get it passed through Obama. And he cried in his office and Trump had never heard of it. And then he said, well, of course I'll do this. And so he made some calls and he made sure that it got passed. And then after that, Van Jones became a snake and act like, Trump now hates black people and he's going to lock all these black people up when he was literally the person that passed that. So it's just interesting. And I also think that many of us believe that those cases were lawfare. They were just meant and designed to, try to destroy Trump. And let me just say this, I'm independent. So I started getting into politics, investigating the Georgia case, because I saw some of the corruption going on with Fani Willis, and not just the headlines, but I deeply investigated, went through the documents, listened to hours of testimony, did all of that. And I found so much corruption there. And even looking into the YSL case and how lackluster and really it just, the case was just a disaster. And then I started looking into the case with Trump down there in Georgia, the RICO case, which it seemed like Fani Willis wanted to build her name off of that. And then we saw it was basically malpractice how it was handled. And there's a lot of details I don't want to go into, but the case was just negligent on many levels. And then just looking at the case in New York, I mean, all of the people know these are politically motivated. We have civil rights leaders that were locked up and tried. Just because the government tries you on stuff, just because they nitpick and try to dig into anybody's background, all of us could probably, if they comb through 7 years of our tax returns, could probably find something and say that, put us on trial just because they don't like you. So, in the 34 count felonies, these are bookkeeping things. These aren't like, he's out here a hardened criminal doing all these different things. But regardless of that, most people, feel somewhat empathy, those who are already supporting him, and then seeing all those things come against him, those who weren't supporting him. I've heard more people say that this was some BS. And I think most people would agree with that. And so the 34 felony count, it means nothing. If that was the case, then, some of our great leaders, they at the time were breaking the law of the US technically, but we know that the justice system has been used against Black people and political enemies since the beginning, the foundation of this country. So if that was the measure, I mean, we can go into a lot of things. So it doesn't make a difference, at least to me and most of the people I talk to. If you're already a Democrat or you're already supporting Kamala Harris, then this is something that, keep bringing up. But I actually think it's weird when I hear Black people bring up, felony counts, because we know how the justice system has been used against us many times. And then for Black people to then say, oh, look, he's criminal, he has this background. It's just speaking out of both sides of our mouth.
D1, I see a bunch of facial expressions being made by you, brother. What you over there thinking, D1?
Yo, let me bring some common sense to the conversation. Yo, this is the easiest election ever. Like, Donald Trump can't even be taken seriously. Like, by anybody who's using common sense, he can't even be taken seriously when we're talking about character, when we're talking about intelligence, when we're talking about these type of issues and many more issues. He has set the bar so low during his time of wanting to be a politician, right? That now people accept things from him, sound bites. It doesn't even make sense. They're super divisive. He's a fear mongerer. He makes you feel like if he doesn't get elected, the United States is about to turn into a third world country. You heard me? He literally uses this type of rhetoric to make people feel fearful that if he's not in charge, oh my gosh, this country is about to just go down the drain and they're going to be eating animals in front of your face. And you got all these rapists and all these people, these thugs that's getting into the country, and they're going to come for you and come for your job. And it's so divisive, y'all. Like, it's to the point where this ain't even a real conversation. Like, it's really not. And there's people whose intelligence I really respect, but unfortunately, like, we've gotten to the point where he's still calling Democrats demons, calling people demonic. And it has a whole bunch of people saying, well, since he's setting the tone and he's making it okay to refer to people like this, now I'm a man of God. I'm a Christian, right? I'm also an independent when it comes to political affiliation at this stage in my life. It's to the point to where I see so many Christians who unfortunately following their leader. They're not even Republicans, they're Trumplicans, you heard me? Like, they literally are part of like a cult, to the point where if he sets the tone and says that if you're a Democrat, then that's a demonic party, then you got all these Christians who are online right now telling other Christians, we all praising the same Jesus. They're saying, you're not really Christian if you vote for Kamala Harris. You're not really Christian if you would ever vote for a Democrat. And now you got Christians who are at war with one another, literally, over the type of rhetoric that this man and other pastors who claim to be prophets, and they in front their pulpit on a Sunday morning, constantly saying, yo, if you don't vote for Trump, it's these Christian nationalists who's saying if you don't vote for Trump, if you don't vote Republican, then you can't really be a Christian. And it's just, this is all, like, we're making it seem like his character is really something for us to take serious as having elected as the leader of our country. God is still in control, and we're going to be fine regardless. But in terms of taking him seriously as a political candidate, nah, y'all, like, let's use our common sense, man. This ain't that hard.
Now, let's talk about this too, because it's not just whenever a presidential campaign comes up, everybody's dirt comes to the surface,
Right.
or supposedly. It's not just Donald Trump's character that they say is flawed. There are also a lot of claims about Kamala's character as well. And I think you got some facts on that, right?
It's very different, right, from the former President Trump, who has is fact that he has been convicted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the opposite end, you do have also political commentators and people, let's say Judge Joe Brown, who even went as far as to call her a derogatory name in his description of her, or to address her. And he coined her as lazy and lacking professionalism. Now, this is with his experience, as a prosecutor or in California as well, along with her. So with, somebody, let's say like Judge Joe Brown, okay, who is respected in his field, with him stating that Kamala has, well, not only the lazy and the lack of professionalism, but also alleged promiscuity within the ranks in California during her professional tenure as a prosecutor. What do you guys think about this? Is that important? Is how someone conducts themselves sexually important when it comes to the vote?
I went last time, so I'll go first this time.
Go ahead, D.
How you conduct yourself sexually? Well, I know that Trump is on camera saying that about grabbing women by the PUSSY and just just talking like, yeah, when you're a celebrity, they just do whatever you want. They let you do whatever. And he's talking like this about women. This is documented, y'all. I know that Trump.
I don't understand the controversy.
Hold on.
I don't get it.
Don't do like Trump. Hold on, calm down, brother.
I don't understand the controversy. Why is it a bad thing, though?
No. We're not doing it. All right. So with that being said, Trump is the person who has paid off a porn star to try to hide the fact that he was cheating on his wife with a whole porn star, and there's that whole case and all of this type of stuff. Trump is the one that's been married, I think, 3 times at this point. Trump is the one who, when we talk about being a Christian, he wants to pander for the Christian vote. Then when he's at Liberty University speaking to the students, he's quoting the Bible and he's reading 2 Corinthians, and he calls it 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. As a man of God, when you're reading the Bible, you know what 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians is. Not 2 Corinthians. He's selling Bibles for $59.99 and putting the Constitution inside the Bible and the Pledge of Allegiance to try to mix this God and country stuff to where it's like, yeah, it's all one thing. And you got people who are like thinking that this is cool somehow. Like this is not an abomination. So when we talk about sex and we talk about sexual acts and we talk about paying off porn stars and being married and cheating on your wife, bringing your mistress on vacation with you and your wife, you heard me, and trying to have them both on vacation with you at the same time, this isn't alleged stuff. This is documented stuff. We ain't really got this. This the easiest election ever. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. I'm done.
Everything you're saying is okay. Let's say that that's all true. I don't care. It doesn't put groceries in my refrigerator. It's not.
Don't nobody care about that.
Gas up my car. It has irrelevance. And then let's talk about Bill Clinton, who actually in the Oval Office disgraced it and is now out campaigning for Kamala Harris. I'm not going to
Thank you.
Bill Clinton, but let's go there. She had Lizzo, who is campaigning for her. She actually has currently a sexual assault case on her with her own dancers. We can go into Usher, into Diddy. I mean, the list goes on. Eminem and the things that he said about women and gay people. Everyone else. I mean, the list goes on and on. So we want to take some moral high ground.
We're gonna take moral high ground when it comes to politics, but we ain't gonna keep the same energy when it comes to the people that we support outside of it. Okay.
There's room to, we can go there, but the layers go pretty deep. We could talk about even Doug Emhoff, and having an affair with his nanny and all it. I mean, we in this country, I get that, and they try to throw these things out there, and that Trump has done this. Quite frankly, I don't care, and I don't think most people care right now. People are struggling. And whatever happened in his bedroom, that's between him and his wife. I don't look to my president to be my moral leader and my guide and my God. And that's how I'm going to live my life. I need him to run the country, him or her to run the country in a way that we are not in the place that we are right now. So all of this, it's just gossip. It feels like schoolgirl gossip. And he did this and he had a girl over here and he said this. I don't care. And I don't think most people do.
You see how low you set the bar? You see that? You see how low you set the bar?
Who cares though? But don't nobody care. But look, we're talking about real things. Hold
on. Wait, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Let me actually go ahead and hear Ashley respond on this one because I think you were coming back with some. Ashley, what you got for us?
Well, I just want people to be consistent. If you don't care, I think that the attack on the vice president and that Joe Brown was saying is irrelevant and inaccurate. And to call her lazy, you cannot become a DA. You cannot become and be elected by the largest state in the country and the second largest Department of Justice in the country, which is California. You don't become a sitting senator. You don't become the vice president of the United States and be lazy. Like those things, Donald Trump is not lazy either. Mike Pence was not lazy. JD, you're not running across the country campaigning. So I think applying those labels already kind of disqualifies your point in and of itself. So I'm not calling either side lazy, but to label that on to a Black woman, I think is problematic. I also think, to Melanie's point, I think if it doesn't matter for Donald Trump, then it should be irrelevant for Kamala Harris. But what I often hear in conversations is there's this inconsistency. It's if one side does one thing incorrectly, I don't know if I would support a Democrat that was convicted of 34 felonies. I think what I like to do is set a bar for where my leaders are. And I don't actually want my president to tell me who I should worship. I'm a Christian too, but I don't want my president to tell me who I should worship and who I should not, and all the things in my life. I actually want you out of my business But I do want you to have moral character so that when you're sitting behind that resolute desk in the Oval Office and you are the leader of the free world, that I can trust your judgment is not thinking about yourself, but it's actually thinking about the people who pay your salary, which is myself and everyone else on this. So morals do matter, not in the sense of sexuality and whatnot. I mean, he has been convicted and it was actually a hush money case to the 34 paperwork counts. It was actually a hush money case where he paid off a porn star because he was having an affair with a woman while he was married, and she
But
had
the star witness, Michael Cohen, admitted to lying on the stand. I mean, to stealing from Trump on the stand. And in this case,
jury of his peers.
This case really rested on him and his testimony. And then if we're talking about sexuality, we can bring up Willie Brown. Okay, we can bring up a lot of things that have been said about Kamala in terms of how she got jobs and how she had, he was the one that got her started with a lot of jobs and things. These are documented. These aren't just rumors. So
and Melanie, let me step in.
I don't get into, if you want to take this moral road, then, if you're going to bring up Trump stuff, then let's bring up that. And
I don't want to
go into that, but I don't care about it. So, and I don't think she's lazy. I don't see her as lazy.
Okay.
I don't, again, none of this puts money in anybody's pocket. None of this is policy. None of this is going to, change any of our lives. It just feels like gossip.
And for context, so this was, she had been accused of sleeping her way to the top, and this is referring to an alleged relationship that she had with what was his former Speaker of California State Assembly, Willie Brown. So he was married at the time, alleged married at the time, and put her in a couple of higher level positions.
He was a mayor. He was a mayor.
It was the mayor of San Francisco.
Just to clarify,
it's fact.
Can I just to clarify? The reason why Kamala Harris was the district attorney of San Francisco, the reason why she was the attorney general of California, the reason why she was the U.S. Senator of California, and the reason why she's the vice president is not because of Willie Brown. It's because she has worked hard and she has convinced Americans to vote for her, millions and millions of Americans. So respectfully to Judge Joe Brown, I discredit that because it is offensive to say that the reason why she is here is because of some rumor or whatever. It's because the voters voted her to be in those positions.
The reason why she became the vice president is because president is because Joe Biden promised
a woman president.
No, no.
They brought a list.
Brian, fact check. Brian, fact check.
Martin's, like they have it. It's a list. They said it was black women.
It was black women
for the Supreme Court.
The coalition went to him and said, "You need to pick from this list of black women."
It was just to clear, because I was working on the campaign at that time. He promised in the debate that he would appoint the first black female justice to the U.S. Supreme Court because there had not been one yet. But he would appoint a woman, he would select a woman to be his running mate. As the tensions in 2020 got more heated, several white women, including Amy Klobuchar, stepped away and said, I actually think it would be important that it be a woman of color. But his commitment was to a woman it was a Black woman for the U.S.
So
Supreme Court.
then he became
that story's
pressured. So
been
hold on.
told
So
very
then he became pressured to put the Black woman in after first saying just a woman, correct?
People can lobby for whoever they want, but it wasn't Joe.
Am I right or wrong?
People ask.
Am I right or wrong? You don't answer the question. They go to Kamala and answering the questions. Come on now. Am I right or wrong?
No, I'm saying what Joe Biden said.
But am I right or wrong?
People
I'm correct.
ask for there to be there, but that's not what Joe Biden said.
I'm correct. He got pressured.
Those are two different statements.
He got pressured to hire a Black female to be the vice president, and he did. That's what he did. That's the reason why she's in there. And
then 81 million people voted for her.
No, they didn't. But when?
In 2020.
They voted for Joe Biden, not Kamala Harris.
Okay,
Joe
so
Biden.
I want everyone to remember the things that were just said. That he picked a Black woman to be the vice president, right? And that he voted for Joe Biden and not Kamala Harris. So when we actually start to talk about issues, don't forget those points, because they'll be quick then to flip and say she should have done X, Y, and Z. But the people didn't vote for her; they voted for the president, right? Because she's the vice president and she can't do anything.
You still have duties.
There we go.
As a vice president. You still have duties as a vice president, because aren't you the president of the Senate as well? You got the tie-breaking vote. Let's not play that game. Come on now. You do have.
Let's see what happens.
So you are an important person as a vice president. Let's not discount that. And furthermore, this whole thing about morality and all of that, who cares? We're talking about groceries are way too high. Housing is way too high. Look, when I bought my house in 2020, you needed $65,000 to be able to afford it on paper. $65,000. Now, this same house, $125,000 you need. 120. Things are way too expensive. Nobody cares about the sexuality part. Okay, that's not even really important. And also, as far as Trump, he's not been locked up or anything for rape. There's no rape conviction or criminal conviction. So regardless, you're talking about getting
sound liable, but
it's not a criminal consent. Come on. Like
So
you know,
check
it's not a criminal case.
Check this out here. Here, we gonna close out on this one here because we actually got another very important topic we want to get to. I haven't really seen D1 speak in a while, so
yeah. What I just want to get, because D1, I see the reactions that you have, and I think you may be one of the few on the panel who think morality is extremely important for the presidential candidate. So did you have something a bit different about regarding morality and how to cast your vote?
My brother, I'm a man of God first and foremost. So for me, I'm looking at anyone that we have the opportunity. I'm a Christian. I'm looking at anytime we have the opportunity to vote, it's like, okay, we do that. Now, this world stresses stuff like financial prosperity without moral integrity. That's when you get people like Diddy. You feel me? That's when you get these instances to where, well, this person ran the bag up. This person knew how to make money, knew how to give me money in my pocket, but we don't worry about character and moral integrity, right? And that is not the way that I'm wired to think as a man of God. And it's actually very disappointing for me to hear that we have Americans who will literally say character and moral integrity do not matter when we are talking about electing the president of the United States. It's just like, we're not the same. You know what I mean? That's it. And I really think that a lot of people, when they allow common sense to re-enter the conversation in their own mind, because I'm really wanting to speak to undecided voters. I have no interest in, I love everybody on this panel, even if we're voting for different people. Don't even know y'all personally, love y'all to pieces, you heard me? This is for undecided voters. For me, as an undecided voter, there's a lot of Christians who feel a lot of anxiety right now, and they're praying and they're stressing because they're literally like, what do I do? There's people that's not Christians that are just like, there's so much fear and hate and vitriol being tossed around. What do I do this election? My thing is allow common sense to enter the chat and the equation. And all of these things matter. Policy matters, character matters as well. When you instantly hear that the first topic that was brought up which is morality and character, when you hear that people who tend to support Trump are saying, that doesn't matter, that speaks volumes.
But
So
why does it matter
that's
though?
actually-
Because at the end of the day, because the morality is not going to put money in your pocket. It's not going to put fruit in your refrigerator.
Brother,
You know,
listen.
If I'm getting evicted today, if I'm being evicted today, then why does the president's morality matter?
Listen, brother, listen. First of all, you're not being evicted. So you talking.
It was a question. If I'm a person that's struggling, why does the character of the president?
Brother, I don't know nobody who was wealthy when Trump was president, when Donald was president. I don't know nobody that was wealthy then. Then all of a sudden they're like, man, I'm hurting now. You hear me?
Well,
I'm
America agrees with you, and every single poll is higher. Everyone says that they live better under. This is on all mainstream media, even though they lie about everything. Everyone said that he is the one that they lived better under him. The economy was better under him. So that may be your anecdotal.
That's you. That's yourself. That's your point of view.
So hold on. Let's actually let's close it. Let's close it out right here. We gonna get another one going. We got another question because I think we see that at this point. I think that's the most important thing is you see that different people are weighing different values when they make a voting decision. Right? Some people are really looking at morality. Some people's like, no, I want somebody to just go in and get the job done. And even the chat is reflecting this. In fact, this next part of the conversation is equally just as important.
Well, a couple things. So first I'm gonna do, guys, we got 2,600 people in the chat right now. So that just proves that this conversation is very important to us. And I'm gonna go ahead and close out this poll. So I dropped the poll earlier, guys. Can a conviction or criminal record be forgiven, or should voters take a stance against criminals? We got forgive, can't vote for criminals, and undecided. Guys, 57% of the people, this is 2,600 people in the chat, say forgive. We got another 19% at can't vote for criminals, and another 25% that's actually undecided. So D1, I think you might be speaking to those people. So I'm gonna close out that poll real quick. Now we had a couple super chats come in. Shout out to Azrael, first of his name. He says, if Kamala has to talk to Xi Jinping or Putin, she's going to start giggling and twerking out of nervousness. She shouldn't even pass the Kamala. That's apologies. She couldn't even pass the 2020 primary because she was unlikable. She was the border czar and failed. So this is a big conversation because this is how men are talking on the internet about Kamala. So this is very important that we talk about this. And then what's that other super chat? We got another one. Talks with P Mo. Any black man that's voting for Trump has mommy issues and misdirected anger. We could not have had any better super chat.
Right.
We talk about men versus women. So let's go ahead and get into that conversation, Tyshawn.
Absolutely. In fact, we actually brought really was a tweet that came up that's getting a lot of popularity because Waka Flocka Flame actually came out and endorsed Donald Trump. Let's actually pull that up so everybody can see it because this discourse is really where we are. You can see it says Trump for president, let's go by Waka Flocka Flame right under it. Why do you want him to be president? Are you intimidated by a woman president? Right. And a lot of the ladies are having this same sentiment, saying that men are intimidated by having a woman as a president. In fact, we can also say that Obama backed this statement in a recent statement that he made. Delano, can we actually go ahead and play that clip with Obama? Let's go ahead and get it played. It's muted here. Let's go ahead and get the sound for it.
And you got to update the color of them And you got to update the color of them squares.
Because reasons and excuses, I've got a problem with that. Because part of it makes me think, I'm speaking to men directly. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Wow.
Okay. So
That's the former president accusing men of being
this
sexist.
so let's
hot when I saw that, because it's like, look, at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. If you want me to vote for someone policy. Give me a good reason. Don't do no finger wagging. Oh, y'all brothers got that and the third. Don't do that. I don't like that at all. Even if I was kind of on the fence, like I don't be not. That right there would push me all the way to the right. But you don't just wag your finger. I hated that so much. Pastor, not him. It was
Jamal Bryant.
Jamal Bryant, not Kirk.
Oh man, man, this is Kirk caught a stray. Don't let Kirk catch a stray in here, man. Let me ask a quick question. I actually want to go ahead. I want to get the question because we can see it here. This is a really good place to start because I mean, do men really have an issue with seeing a woman as president? Is this a real issue?
Now, I've done, before I found my way into politics, I did relationship stuff. And so I studied the gender gap, and I talked about it for several years, that you saw in the dating market that is absolutely insane. And it has started to, you can now see it with the election. People are now mainstream talking about the gender gap, but those of us who have been, in the trenches have seen this for a while. All across every Western country right now, you will see men have become more conservative and women have become more liberal. You see that it's the most pronounced in South Korea. This isn't an American thing. This is globally. And it comes to values. There's a lot that I can go into when it comes to
Politically, fantastic. Kamala has none of it. So if you want a female president, try putting somebody forward better than Hillary Clinton, who couldn't even get through the campaign without having to get Weekend at Bernie through the whole thing. And Kamala can't put two words together. They had that one first interview on CNN. He was in Atlanta in front of the studios for 6 hours, and she spoke for 18 minutes in the actual interview. Embarrassing. Maybe that's why.
I mean, we're talking about in the history of this country. We can cut out some of the years because women didn't even have the right to vote. So
When
okay,
has it ever?
let's cut those.
When has there ever been a good female candidate to come forward?
But then they're like, why are we voting based on gender? I don't need you to look like me. I don't need you to have this ovaries in order for you to run this country. I'm not looking for identity in my president. I'm looking for who is the most qualified to run the country. Who do I think has the best policies? I don't care what you are. It makes no difference to see. And this is the thing that I think Democrats don't understand. People, if a candidate is good, if the candidate is good and they happen to be a woman, then that's great. That's fine. Nobody, it is what it is. Will there be some people who are misogynistic? Yes, but there's a lot of women who are misandrous, and we don't talk enough about the feminist misandrous that are running rampant, especially go on TikTok and you will see it. So it's, I get it, but like, why do I need representation? Like
just because we're 52% of the population.
But what is that going to do other than there's symbolism in it? And I think Black people for a long time, symbolism and tokenism is what the Democrat Party has given us. And this is why you see a tearing away, especially in higher numbers. Black women are doing it too, but you see a tearing away of Black men because symbolism is not enough. We had Barack Obama already, and a lot of people don't feel like he didn't really do anything for Black people. He did more for the LGBT causes than he did for Black people. And so, we've had our symbolism, we've had our tokenism. We want who we feel is the most qualified and who has the policies that are going to set this country in the right order. And if it's a woman, it's a woman. If it's not, so be it.
And then on top of that, it's like, we're the smallest population in the doggone country. Why would we focus on tallying around and campaigning around Black people? We literally are the smallest population in the country. And half of us don't even vote. So why campaign for the Black vote? Why campaign for that? This makes no sense.
D1, I want to know this too, just to get him in there. D1, have you also noticed that the Black men, especially that you might know or you hear of in voting, are also favoring Trump in this decision?
Or if women are solely voting on for Kamala because she's a woman.
Yeah.
So let's get it once again. Let's just inject common sense into the equation. Most Black people are gonna vote for Kamala Harris. There are people who are voting for Donald Trump because he's white. Let's just acknowledge that it goes that way as well. There are most Black men are gonna vote for Kamala Harris, but some Black men who I've spoken to, because I've had these conversations without cameras, so there was no pressure for anybody to be performative. And some Black men are taking out all of the issues that they have with their mamas, with their baby mamas, you heard me, with their exes, on Kamala Harris. And literally they're acting as if she's trying to get elected to be their wife instead of to be their president.
What? No, for real? I've never heard that before.
Hold on, wait. Let's let I want to let D1 finish the point here.
Bruh, our moms don't have nothing to do with the reason why we voted against Kamala Harris. She doesn't have good policies, bruh. Stop it. This is pure nothing but shaming.
Here, D1, go ahead and carry through.
Yeah, this isn't a debate. I'm telling y'all real conversations I've been in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, in Durham, North Carolina. These are forums, these are panels that I've been on. Like I said, they weren't televised. So where I'm a rapper. For most people watching this who know that I'm a hip hop artist, a college professor, like I'm with students, I'm with young Black men. These are my peers in what I do professionally. I'm telling y'all that there's a different standard to where a lot of people look at Kamala Harris as somebody who, well, we ain't get this as Black men yet. We ain't get that as Black men. One thing I've had to tell Black men, and for anybody in the chat, we have to acknowledge this. We don't have a unified agenda as Black men that we have ever said, as all Black men in this country, here's what we want together collectively. I think it's kind of a myth to even think that that should exist because we're not monolithic as Black men. But it's easy as a buzzword to be like, well, as Black men, here's what we haven't gotten. But we've never presented something in a unified manner that we all want. We want to be respected, we want to be protected, and we want to have the opportunity to thrive in this country. And that's something that should be basic for everyone. With that being said, time and time again, when you look at Donald Trump,
I mean, did we not just sit here and talk about criminal justice reform? Did we not just sit here and talk about criminal justice reform a minute ago? That's something that all Black men were standing on. That's something that all Black men were standing on. What is he talking about?
it's a known fact that this man don't respect us. This man wants to exploit us as Black people, period. Now, when it's convenient for him, oh yeah, bring Blackie over here, bring Blackie here, get this rapper out of jail, because I know that's gonna get certain impressionable minds to say, oh, he freed this person, so that means he a real one or whatever. Like, our logic is so twisted, and y'all get excited about. I saw what's homie name? Anthony Logan, brother. I saw you getting excited, like, yeah, Waka Flocka endorsed him, brother. You don't know nothing about Waka Flocka. You can't name one Waka Flocka song, but you're excited. Hold on. That being said, listen. That being said,
yeah, there you go.
That's exactly what it is.
Shout out, Doo-Wop.
We just want to get
it's free.
People want to get excited.
It's your black test. You're a black person. You're a white boy. Same old dumb stuff. Go ahead.
I can't. No. I'm saying you get excited about a cosign from somebody who you don't even know on any level, but you're getting excited and you're pumping your fist. This is what I'm saying. Listen.
It don't matter if I don't know him. I support what he supports. We're on the same page. You're on the same page. That's why I'm pumping my fist.
Hold on, wait, guys.
Slow down. Kamala had a Meg Thee Stallion concert in Atlanta. What are we talking about?
Let's bring up all the celebrities then that we don't know.
Relax. Listen, that being said, keep in mind that some of the same Black people who are getting excited about a certain rapper maybe co-signing Trump, these are the same Black people who get excited about making and listening to music that is glorifying us, killing us selling dope to our own people, us disrespecting women constantly in the music. So I don't look at it like, oh yeah, Black people are just riding for Trump, because as Black people, we're not to be all put in one bucket. You know what I mean? Everybody, just because they're your skin folk don't mean that they're your kinfolk. So it's a serious matter to address.
What are you saying, bro? What are you talking about?
Cardi B? Did you see Cardi B give her speech? If we want to go there about music and glorifying, did you see Cardi B? Did you see the rappers that, Glorilla, Flo Milli, Megan Thee Stallion twerking on stage?
And let's get Ashley in on this as well.
Arguing against yourself.
Here's the difference. I'm not sitting here excited saying that's why we should vote for Kamala, is because
none of us are either. None of us are there. I don't know.
He got my same values, so I'm like, hey, that's good. Shout out to him.
Hold tight, real quick. I gotta go ahead and get my sister Ashley in here. Ashley, what you got to say here?
Well, the conversation has turned a little bit less about her being a woman and more about what are we doing for Black people. I think, and Kamala Harris has said over and over that she wants to earn Black men's votes. So I want to tell you a little bit about what she wants to actually do for Black men. I will tell you, I think she is the first presidential candidate in the history of America to release an agenda just for Black men. Talking
that
about
agenda was fake. That agenda was fake.
Hey,
and that
it was
agenda is
funny.
for everybody.
Hey, they say,
The
and other
campaign
Americans.
came out and said
Hey,
it's for
Wait, hold on.
everyone.
Okay,
wait.
hold on. Let
Let's
her
go.
finish. Let her finish. Let her finish.
Hey, ABL, let's let her finish that thought first, and I want to let you guys come back in here. What, Ashley, go ahead. She was the first. You said she was the first president that released an agenda for Black men.
For Black men, yes, because she doesn't take the vote for granted. And when people was like, everybody's like, oh, I want policy. So in there is access to capital, because we know Black people don't have, like, we get 1% of venture capital, if that, and Black women get a 0.2% of venture capital access to money. It's talking about expanding government contracts for Black people. It's talking about creating pathways for Black men to become teachers and get into the classroom. Canceling student loan debt is for everybody, but hey, Black people got student loan debts, and for Pell Grants, a lot of HBCUs. We know Joe Biden has given more money to HBCUs than Donald Trump did, even though he likes to say he did. Joe Biden gave almost 7 times as much money to Black folks. So I will say, in this country,
You forgot some of the agenda. The weed.
Yes, actually, I wasn't actually finished. I wasn't
smoke
finished.
weed and get crypto coins.
I wasn't finished. Actually, she did talk about legalizing weed, which is why it's really important, because if you actually go to the Pence Vance website and you look at what's on there in terms of criminal justice reform, they want to bring back stop and frisk. They want to federalize people who have conversations that might be involved with drug in the drug community. They want to bring the
What does that
death
mean?
penalty.
Hold on. What does that mean? Conversations, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like if you have people that are affiliated in the drug system in your community and you're there, because it's a federalized crime, you could be part of that RICO charge.
They're doing what? You're not giving me the full story.
That is the full story. That's the problem, is that
they're doing what?
Not breaking the law, but he would change. He wants to change the statute so that if you're even in proximity to someone selling drugs, that you could be a part of that RICO case.
That ain't nothing new. Everybody, that's regular. Like, okay, if somebody got a trap house and you there, you can get locked up too. Everybody know that. I don't want that.
And you okay with that?
That's nothing new. That's been going on. That's not Trump.
And you're okay.
I mean,
it's on his website.
ABL, are you okay with that, ABL?
I mean, look, if you're in the trap house, you know where you at, so you shouldn't be there.
It doesn't even have to be the trap house. It could be you're at your.
That's guilty by association. That's guilty by association. That has been going on way before Donald Trump even came into office. Matter of fact, how do you even think Kamala Harris was able to put Jamil Love on trial? Because it was his homeboy that turned around and committed the crime. But because he was there, he got framed. Guilty by association is what she's talking about. It's basically been that has been happening way before Donald Trump came into office. How in the hell do you think Kamala Harris was able to put Jamil Love on trial? An innocent Black man. Because the homie that he was with is the one that committed the crime. And because he was there, somebody ID'd him as the prime suspect.
Friend's house, and the person who sells drugs, who's from the trap house, comes. This is what we're talking about.
Well, I don't hang around people that sell drugs. I don't hang around crack sellers. I don't hang around guys that sell fentanyl. I'm sorry. So now,
everything that they put out for black people is just all of us are.
And even though I do smoke weed, I'm not being stupid either. Even though I do smoke weed, I'm not being stupid either. I'm not finna go out here and sell drugs in front of somebody's doggone property. Not finna start selling drugs out of my own doggone house. I know that'll bring attention. So again, stupidity at its best.
Are just, we're all doing drugs, we're all
Yeah.
criminals, we're all that. They
That's
don't
not
speak to the
Kamala
middle
Harris.
class or the upwardly mobile
Exactly.
black person.
Everything I
And
just
the
said
whole
was about the
HBC
middle class that she
if
was
you
doing.
if you sell crack for a living, you good.
Hold tight, Avia.
That agenda was not for black men. So that is a lie. That is an outright lie that agenda was put together for black men. Not in the agenda itself, it says it's for others. The campaign came out and said it's for everybody. So how is that a specific agenda for black men?
Well, if you know anything about the way the federal government works and the way federal statutes, you actually can't make things, it will be challenged in the court. You know how people don't want DEI, all of the removal of like making sure everything is race neutral, making sure affirmative action doesn't exist. So you can't actually apply laws a lot of times in the federal government that are specific to certain constituencies.
They did it for Asian Americans. They done it for Native Americans.
But let me tell you,
Jewish Americans, but they don't do
the
it
Asian
for black
American. The Asian American statute actually falls under the larger federal.
They passed the hate crime. But they passed the hate crime bill for Asians, and then turned around and gave protected civil rights to the LGBT community. But we gonna get gaslighted again.
Hate crime statute, so it just provided a very distinct protection to Asian Americans.
Why lie and say it's for black men? Why lie and say it's for black men?
It's a lie.
It's not a lie because the application.
It's for black men, but it's not just for black men.
Can I finish?
That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. That's what you said. What I am saying is that the application of it disproportionately will benefit black men. And it was written in such a way, it was written actually by black men. I know the men who wrote it, so that it would actually, when you look at the things like sickle cell and prostate exams and all of those things, those are issues that disproportionately affect black men. So they talked about the things that black men are disproportionately affected by, and they presented policy proposals. I'll just say, I'd love to see Donald Trump's blackmail plan.
Well, we know Kamala's is to lock up black men in mass incarceration in California. It's to lock up parents for truancy. And every time she bring it up, she never clarifies her record. She'll say it's not true. People say it's not true. But then she doesn't give the specific numbers. Like, I just don't get the Kamala.
Now, Melody, actually, let's stop. Let's actually go into that, because just personally, I know that is something that a lot of black men are concerned about, because the whole aspect of mass incarceration, when you think about the like the state of our community, the black community, actually, for many of us, we probably consider it a matriarch, because so many women have had to leave the community, because a lot of us credit that to mass incarceration and the prosecutors and all the policies and laws that were passed, which Kamala's thrown into that. Is it fair to attach mass incarceration and black men getting locked up for petty crimes to Kamala?
When you look at the actual numbers, the people who were arrested when she was the district attorney are 1,500 for drug use. When you look at how many were black men, it's 45. So it is below the national average for incarceration for black men. But what's most importantly is that when you look at back when she was, remember, my career is in criminal justice reform. So there used to be a thing where you lock people up and you throw away the key. Well, what Kamala Harris did as one of the first district attorneys in the country, which other people started to jump on is she started doing anti-recidivism and pro reentry programs, so that when you did serve your time and you came back into the community, you could get a job. You didn't have to worry about the box preventing you from not being hired because you had a former felony conviction. You could find housing. You could have visits with your family. So that is a myth that has been out there. And unfortunately, to the Melody's point about TikTok, it's like, just because you got a microphone in front of your mouth don't mean you telling the truth. So we do need to do our research. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to come on. To D1's point, there are a lot of undecided voters. And I just want you to go in, knowing the facts and not hearing he said, she said. Whatever you decide to do, I hope you vote, because that's what our democracy lives and breathes on. And I hope we accept the results of the election. But the fact that people are saying that Kamala Harris attacked and tried to over-incarcerate Black men is actually false. It is just not.
Now, the other point was about the truancy thing that she did. So what was that all about?
So the truancy was, there was this high rate of children. I've done a lot of things. I got a lot of Black jobs out here. I'm a former school teacher in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. And when you teach, you know that you are supposed to keep daily attendance to make sure students were coming to school. What Kamala Harris found was that there was high truancy rates, that it was just fine in the city. It was just acceptable. People just accepted the fact that Black students weren't going to class and just saying, like, as a city, whatever, they don't care about the Black kids. So Kamala Harris put a program together where she got strict with Black parents, or parents in general, if they had an ongoing, I think it was 30 days where they were missing school. If you miss school for 30 days, the likelihood that you will graduate from that grade, you will get set back. You won't be able to read at reading level, pass and go to college if you want to. If you don't have a third grade reading level by the time you are in third grade, you're going to already fall behind your peers. So that was a case to actually get Black kids in school to work with parents. Now, I know there's like one case out there that this woman did the commercial where she said she was arrested, but that also has been debunked.
You're speeding past the actual point. I want to know what was the plan? Like what did Kamala want to do to enforce the truancy situation? We got to get to that, to the core of it.
There were many.
The threat was
I said there
the
was
parents.
one.
The threat was
I guess because my dog. But then again, if you don't want nobody telling you what to do with your body, but then you want to be irresponsible and go out there and have children out of wedlock, make babies and stuff. But yeah, I lost my dog on what I was gonna say anyway.
To follow up here, I know this is a touchy subject here, and this is the quietest it's been this whole time. What we got?
Yeah, I want to jump in. So the thing about abortion, like the question you just put up, Ryan, I mean, I don't think it should be banned, but I don't think it should be just you can have abortion up until the point of birth. I'm from Virginia originally. When I left, Ralph Northam just became the governor in 2018. And he was on tape talking about, well, after the baby's born, we're going to put the fetus aside and see what we're going to do with it. They're talking about abortion up until the point of birth, up until 9 months. I agree with Trump when I say the 3 exceptions: rape, life of the mother, incest. I believe in that. There should also be like maybe a 10-week limit, maybe 10 to 15 week. I'm not an extremist person. Getting rid of Roe v. Wade was good because it was no longer a federal government type thing. It's an individual state. So if you're living in California and you want to have an abortion up until 9 months and y'all want to vote for it, go ahead. You have even more access to the so-called healthcare that you like. And then there's no more back and forth about, okay, the federal government says this. Nope, your state, you decide, you have better control over abortion. Furthermore, what is the baby inside of you? Is it a baby or not? We can talk about my body, my choice. Well, the baby is a human being as well. Baby has a body. Furthermore, any Christian advocating for abortion just willy-nilly, and it's not a healthcare issue. They cited the stats earlier. What, 1%, less than 1% for the 3 exceptions? It's usually elective. I can't afford it. I don't want to have it. I already got too many. It's like that. If you're a Christian, which I'm not, but if you are and you support that, I don't see how it makes any sense. I just don't get it. And part of the reason, you know what, D1, part of the reason why I'm not Christian is because of stuff like that, the hypocritical nature of church right now. But I don't want to go too deep into that, so I digress.
Can I just say one thing before I have to jump? And I'm sorry I can't stay on the full time. I just want to point out the conversation about the Virginia governor. Those circumstances are what we call palliative care. It's when the baby has a condition. There are instances where the woman knows that the baby is not going to survive out of utero, and so they do palliative care, or they have to abort the fetus at a later stage. Those are the most extreme, heartbreaking cases. I did hear that clip. It was like what he said and what is actually what happens were inconsistent. It was like a bad political flub, but no one is advocating for a baby to be a day before they are birthed and for an abortion. It is literally for the care of the mother, or honestly, for the care of the baby who will not survive out of utero, and they don't want the individual to suffer. So I do think like sometimes it's important. I know this is a heated topic, but it is also about respecting the science that exists as well in these instances. So.
Well, I mean, I agree with you as far as the 3 instances: rape, life of the mother, incest. I agree with that. But at the same time, we got some really extreme people that say up until the point of birth. Not everyone, but that is a thing. And that's the problem, is people that are just regular, normal people who don't believe in the crazy extremes and the extremists. You know what? Okay, let your state decide. If you're living in California and you want to be an extremist and the majority of your neighbors want the same thing, then go ahead and have it. Problem solved.
Ashley, what I want to do is, I know you got to get out of here, so I want to first off thank you for coming on here and having this conversation with us.
Glad we got you today.
And then I want to just roll out the red carpet to let you know you're always welcome back, because these are important conversations. Obviously, we're not going to be able to, in an hour and 15 minutes, change the world. But there probably was a couple people listening that you were able to give a bit of understanding to, which is the purpose of this conversation. So thank you very much. And you're always welcome to come back to Harley Initiate. Okay.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Absolutely.
All right.
What I want to do now, my sister Melanie here, I want to make sure I get Melanie's perspective on this conversation
And
here,
then
especially as a woman.
Correct. Then I want to address what ABL has to say to D1 regarding the morality aspect of being a Christian.
That's a very important conversation. Melanie, go ahead.
Melanie,
So she brought up Amber Thurman. Amber Thurman didn't die because she couldn't get an abortion. She actually died from the side effects of taking the abortion pill. And she did not get the correct hospital care when she did not expel her fetus completely. Okay. And so then they had to do a DNC, but then she contracted sepsis, and that is how she died. She did not die because she had a life-threatening illness or something was wrong with the child. She wanted an abortion. The abortion pill, the side effects of it, and how the FDA have loosened the I guess the guidelines, the restrictions on this abortion medicine, and that's how she died. Actually, if you go into all the cases that they bring up, almost all of them, there's some complication from the abortion, not the actual pregnancy that is causing that. There are some cases like that, but the ones that you talk about all the time, they automatically say that, and it's just not true. So I think a lot of people just take the top headline and say, oh, she couldn't get an abortion, so that's why she died. No, she died because of her abortion.
That's a very dangerous procedure. An abortion, whether it be the pill or the traditional way, where they just yank the fetus out. If you guys know how an abortion works, they literally take the fetus out like a pair of pliers and just rip it out. Now, of course, this is going to damage the woman's body, regardless, whether it's the pill or the traditional abortion. So it's a very dangerous thing to do to yourself.
Melanie, as a woman, are you open to, do you think, and back to the question that we had up here, do you feel like abortion should be banned? Or do you feel like, there should be some level or option to a woman being able to have an abortion?
Well, this is really personal for me because my mother was raped at 14, and that's how I have my oldest sister. She was raped by knife point, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I can bring that word. I don't know. I don't want it to hurt your spirit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hopefully,
this your testimony.
So I'm actually a person who grew up like knowing this story, what happened. My mother went on to achieve and everything like that, and she could not get one at the time. She actually tried to do it herself. She was kicked out of her home, and then she was taken in by nuns into a home. That's what they would find, a home for confined, a home of confinement. Nuns would take in young girls who were kicked out because it didn't matter if you were violated or not. The fact that you were pregnant, you were gone. And so I have a complicated history with that. For me, I do believe it needs to go to the states. I do believe there need to be exceptions. This is my issue, though. Most are using it as birth control. They don't really want to use the birth control. I would say they see it as the easy out. Like, it doesn't matter. I can just, if something happened, I can easily get birth control and it won't be a problem. And you see this. I even did a video a while back where actually probably 2 years ago, where this rapper, she was outside of Planned Parenthood with her friends, half naked, twerking, talking about, this ninja nutting me, I'm going to kill this, thing. And she actually spells it ABORTION, like celebrating abortion. You hear, it's become a cultural thing and it's no big deal. And so for me, it is disgusting and how it's been, the access to it, what it has done. I do believe most states will end up voting for abortion so that women can have it. I think that's the right move to make. But again, the exceptions are so small. You know what I mean? They're so small. In any case they're bringing up, they're not really valid. So it's an issue that I just think people, killing a child is just seen as no big deal. They don't really care about it at all. And it's so preventable. It's just, I don't know. Like
Melanie, let me ask some stats for you, because personally, it's I think it probably hit our community the hardest as well, because when you look at the stats, I found something here that said the CDC reported in 2021 that Black women accounted for 41.5% of abortions in the U.S. If you use that number consistently along the just the years, just to try to get an estimate of how many babies that is since we were allowed to have abortions, you could just estimate that, you know, we've aborted probably about 25 million black babies. And, you know, that's, I'm sure it has an
Incredible.
impact. And, you know, I have a similar story. My mom, actually, I'm not sure if you're here, Ma, I love you if you are. Probably gonna get a little personal here, but I actually said it before, but she actually recently admitted to me, like probably like 3 months ago. I never knew this, but my mom told me that she actually was also assaulted. And here I am the result. You know, so when you talk about even, and listen, I understand a woman saying, I don't want to get raped and have to have a baby. That's a very practical thing to not want to put yourself through. But, you know, again, as you know, as people who understand life, and especially if you're a believer, you just kind of understand that it really is these mysterious ways. Because thank God my mom, you know, still went through and had me regardless, because we wouldn't be all here having this conversation today.
Absolutely.
You know, everybody wouldn't have been impacted by Hardly Initiated and whatever else, you know, other impact I'm going to have further in this world. So it's a very touchy, you know, topic. But I do understand, you know, the sentiments on both sides. I'm just not with it being birth control. As somebody who was a part of casual sex culture, and I know guys who still are, a lot of us are literally having casual sex with in mind. As soon as, if anything were to happen, literally the next step is abortion. That's how we handle it. Abortion is the new condom, unfortunately. And that's how it's being, you know, how our culture has abused it. So it's weird if you give our culture this leg up. You know, if you let people drink alcohol, now you're gonna have alcoholics. You know, but do I ban alcohol? You know, like, how do we handle that? So it's a very tricky and touchy issue. But D1, I didn't really get your thoughts on this one here. And we're gonna circle back around, Ryan, to the point that you had brought up prior. But D1, what's your thoughts on this?
For sure. I think when Anthony started out, he made a good point that I've been holding on to about. He was saying that, you know, he's not Christian because he feels like, yeah, there's a lot of flip-flopping on this issue and a lot of hypocritical dialogue around this issue inside of Christianity. And I agree, because I think that the problem with a lot of Christians when it comes to abortion is people want to try to legislate morality. And you can't legislate morality. Everyone who is on here trying to talk about, hey, you know, abortion is something that people are just running to, and if they got easy access to it, they're going to do it. Like, it's still a decision that they're making. And if people, as Christians, we have to not be so susceptible to saying, yeah, we just feel like abortion is the problem, because prior to abortion, oftentimes was premarital sex. But I don't hear anyone talking about fornication being the issue that we need to deal with. That's a matter of the heart. You feel me? That's a decision that people make that leads to them saying, oh, this casual sex led to where I'm having an abortion. And people tend to want to run to the legislation as the solution for something that's really a matter of the heart. And when we think about the Jesus that we serve, Jesus was about love. Jesus wasn't about, think about God. God being omnipotent, omnipresent, and God creating us, right? If God wanted to, he could have saved himself a lot of headache and a lot of hurt by saying, I'm not going to give them free will. I'm not going to allow them to do what they want to do in life. I'm not going to allow them to make choices on a daily basis. I'm going to just create them, but they have to basically be robots the way I want them to be. But God allows us this free will. And with that being said, we think about that and it's like, okay, if God has given us free will, God is showing us that it's not about do the right thing according to the fact that I'm making you do it all the time. It's, I want your heart to be to where even if you have the choice to sin on a daily basis, your love and admiration and surrendering of your free will to me, to my will, is what you want to push forward with. So that's the God that we serve. And this is as a Christian, me speaking. And ironically, right before this, I just posted something on my Instagram page, and it was something that felt like a breath of fresh air in this super contentious time of election season, even in the Christian community where a lot of Christians are at war with one another. A lot of people are just looking to get mad at another Christian. Like, wait, you're voting for this person? That means you're for killing babies. And it's like, let's be honest. Neither candidate is running on an agenda to say, hey, we want to totally, like, completely ban abortion, period. Like, abortion at any stage or any level is wrong. That's simply not a fact. But what I'm wanting all Christians, anyone who is a believer, and that's why I respect what Anthony said earlier, because he's like, yo, I don't identify as Christian, so this might not apply to him. But this pastor named Brian Zahn, he wrote something called the Christian Voters Guide, because there's no way that Christians should start being at war with each other and beefed out behind, you voted for this candidate, I voted for this candidate. Although we serving the same Jesus, we can't coexist anymore. It shouldn't be like that. And I want to read y'all what he said for the Christian Voters Guide. This is extremely, extremely powerful. This is amazing. He said, number one, the political process, while necessary, has little to do with how God is saving the world. Number two, the fate of the kingdom of God does not depend upon political contests. Number three, don't be naive. Political parties are more interested in Christian votes than they are in Christian values. Number four, the bottom line for political parties is power. The bottom line for a Christian is love, and therein lies the rub. Number five, while in pursuit of the ring of power, you are not permitted to abandon the Sermon on the Mount. Number six, if your political passion makes it hard for you to love your neighbor as yourself, you need to turn it down a notch. Number seven, your task is to bring the salt of Christian civility to an ugly and acrimonious political process. Number eight, to dismember the body of Christ over politics is a grievous sin. Number nine, exercise your liberty to vote your conscience and conviction, while accepting that other Christians will do the same and vote differently than you. And finally, number 10, it's more important that your soul be filled with love than it is for your political team to win the game. And that right there, as a Christian, that's something that really is important to make sure that we don't allow this process to make us feel like, if you voting for this person, you're not Christian. Or if you voting for this person, you don't love God the same way I love God, because that means that you're for killing babies, or you're for you don't like this race, or any of that stuff. It's something
I'm sorry. I'm getting lost. It just feels like word salad.
Word salad,
like,
yeah,
100%. On about all these different things, and I can't really nail down what you're
nothing.
talking about.
Are you a Christian, Melanie? Are you a Christian?
Salad. It's just,
are you a Christian?
Talking.
He gave nothing but word salad. Nothing but word salad. Nothing but word salad. That whole entire rant. This is where we at, where somebody has to come up with a guideline on how to get along with somebody that has a different opinion than you. Really? That's what we doing? That's where we at now? We need specific guidelines to basically still keep a relationship with somebody that has a different opinion than you. When we as so-called Christians are supposed to love everybody no matter what, now we need a freaking guideline on how to do that. This is how low the bar has become.
Talking about all this stuff, and it really, there's no concrete
Melanie,
points.
Are you
it's
a
like
Christian?
Kamala. There's no
Melanie,
policy.
Are you a Christian?
It's just feel
Melanie,
good language.
Melanie, are you a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian, born and raised, went to Christian school, went to Christian college. Like,
and that was word.
This is why.
And that was word. Hold on.
To do with any of this. Everything that you said was some pastor giving word salad points that, in my opinion, really didn't nail down anything. Like let's move
that's
the conversation ahead.
That's the problem.
It's not
that's
a problem.
That's the problem.
And she's absolutely right. He didn't say nothing at all. Nothing but total word salad. Because this is where we at. We got to come up with guidelines on how to get along with each other in case we have different opinions with each other. When we as Christians are supposed to love one another no matter what. This is how low the bar has become. This is how low the bar has become. And I notice all the time, anybody that's voting Democrat, Christian or not, once you hear about who it is that you support, they ready to disown you. They ready to turn their backs on you. They ready to call you a sellout. They ready to call you all types of names, say they don't want to kick it with you, and then turn around and disown you as a friend or a family member.
What you just said, does anybody even understand one point of his? Could anybody repeat back what he said? Or does it sound like Kamala in one of her word salad speeches?
That's the problem. Y'all, listen, some of y'all, unfortunately, have turned this political race and these political parties and these candidates into idols. To the point where y'all mention Trump more than y'all mention Jesus.
But no, it's not even about that. It's not even about that. Hold on.
About everybody else. You seem to want to judge everybody else's Christianity and their religious walk. That is not your place. Other people where their walk is or where their heart is, or that they see Trump as Jesus. Let's get into some real policy points and not this touchy-feely spiritual word salad that you're putting out there. It makes no sense. It's not moving the needle. Let's move on.
Baby, my spirit is irritating your demons. That's the problem.
Look,
your demons. Your demons.
Melanie, hold on. G-Wayne.
Oh my God.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Literally. Wait. I'm literally saying how Christians need to stick together even amidst this. Okay. And the first thing come out your mouth is word salad. That just don't even.
It is word salad because guess what? While you calling yourself a Christian, God doesn't even believe in abortion, but you sitting here voting for a political party that's pro-abortion. So you really ain't saying nothing but word salad because God don't even believe in abortion, but here it is, you voting for a political party that's pro-abortion.
It was word salad. I can keep it real. Do you not want me to tell you truth, or do you want me to give you?
Let's actually. I want to get to. Hold on, wait. Let's actually get to. Let's get to ABL.
What's biblical about what you just said, baby? What's biblical about what you just said?
I don't listen. This is not a debate about my spirituality, my Christianity. These are about the points. You are taking it to a place when you've made things personal. You're asking people personal questions that are none of your business, and it has nothing to do with the political debate. Let us move on. This is not how you conduct something, and you keep making making personal judgments about people that you do not know.
What
This is
judgment?
not productive.
What judgment?
Hold on, wait,
Let's-
hold on,
let's-
wait,
yeah.
hold on, wait, hold
You
tight,
bad.
hold tight.
Oh, you
No,
tight.
it's just that it was just he's so long-winded with this thing, and I could not land down anything that he was saying.
Man,
It's just-
welcome,
it's just
welcome,
this
listen,
word salad.
welcome to what it feels like
Oh my
to listen to Donald Trump run for
So
political.
hold on, wait, so
Like, what are you
hold
talking
tight,
about?
hold tight real quick. ABL, did you have an actual point
You
to make?
tight over there. Look at it. Why are you so tight?
What I wanted to say is I was listening. Look, I didn't want to interrupt. Really, after a few seconds, I wanted to be like word salad, but I let him finish.
Yeah.
I want to let him get the full word out so he can express himself and really get everything. Reading down the list at 10 points, I'm like, my man, you're not saying anything. And this right here is part of the reason, another reason why I'm not Christian, because you go to church and you hear this kind of pastoring and it's nothing. People that want to go feel good and they want to hear things and make them feel nice and warm and fuzzy and stuff like that, they get this kind of information. But a man like me and a lot of my friends and women, we don't like that. We're not trying to go hear some talking guy just, kind of pimp at us. We want to hear is real stuff, real substance. What you said lacked substance.
That's why
Christian
men have left
or no
the
Christian.
church.
Exactly.
That
That's why we're not
why
there.
they have left the
Because
church in
if I make
because
it
of
that, look, if I make it that on Sunday morning, I'm gonna watch football instead because you didn't give me
Well,
anything.
brother, I'm not
You didn't
surprised
give
by
me
that answer
anything.
from you. I'm
You
not
didn't
surprised
give
by that
me.
answer.
Sorry, you don't know me though. You don't know me. You don't know nothing
Right,
about
he keeps
No, you
making
just
personal judgments about
There's
people
nothing
you
about
don't
me.
know.
listen, brother.
It's
If
bizarre.
you're saying that you're not Christian, then I would say that a pastor.
But you don't know. But you don't
who wrote
know me.
about, listen, if you're saying that you're not Christian, Christians shouldn't become divided.
again. Done fucking kicked my ass out again. For the second time. Now I gotta fucking keep doing this shit. Cause it's a trash ass internet speed.
That's a matter of the heart. You feel me? That's a decision that people make that leads to them saying, "Oh, this casual sex led to where I'm having an abortion." And people tend to want to run to the legislation as the solution for something that's really a matter of the heart. And when we think about the Jesus that we serve, Jesus was about love. Jesus wasn't about think about God. God being omnipotent, omnipresent, and God creating us, right? If God wanted to, He could have saved himself a lot of headache, a lot of hurt, by saying, "I'm not going to give them free will. I'm not going to allow them to do what they want to do in life. I'm not going to allow them to make choices on a daily basis. I'm going to just create them, but they have to basically be robots the way I want them to be. But God allows us this free will. And with that being said, we think about that, and it's like, okay, if God is giving us free will, God is showing us that it's not about do the right thing according to the fact that I'm making you do it all the time. It's I want your heart to be to where even if you have the choice to sin on a daily basis, your love and admiration and surrendering of your free will to me, to my will, is what you want to push forward. So that's the God that we're serving. This is as a Christian, me speaking. And ironically, right before this, I just posted something on my Instagram page, and it was something that felt like a breath of fresh air in this super contentious time of election season. Even in the Christian community, where a lot of Christians are at war with one another, a lot of people are just looking to get mad at another Christian. Like, wait, you voted for this person? That means you're for killing babies. And it's like, let's be honest. Neither candidate is running on an agenda to say, hey, we want to totally, completely ban abortion, period. Like, abortion at any stage or on any level is wrong. That's simply not a fact. But what I'm wanting all Christians, anyone who is believing, that's why I respect what Anthony said earlier, because he's like, yo, I don't identify as Christian, so this might not apply to him. But this pastor named Ryan Dine, he wrote something called the Christian Voters Guide, because there's no way the Christians should start being at war with each other and beefed out behind you voted for this candidate, I voted for this candidate. Although we serve the same Jesus, we can't coexist anymore. It shouldn't be like that. And I want to read y'all what he said of the Christian Voters Guide. This is extremely powerful. This is amazing. He said, number one, the political process, while necessary, has little to do with how God is saving the world. Number two, the fate of the kingdom of God does not depend upon political contest. Number three, don't be naive. Political parties are more interested in Christian votes than they are in Christian values. Number four, the bottom line for political parties is power. The bottom line for a Christian is love. And therein lies the rub. Number five, while in pursuit of the ring of power, you are not permitted to abandon the sermon on the mount. Number six, if your political passion makes it hard for you to love your neighbor as yourself, you need to turn it down. Number seven, your task is to bring the salt of Christian civility to an ugly and acrimonious political process. Number eight, to dismember the body of Christ over politics is a grievous sin. Number nine, exercise your liberty to vote, your conscience and conviction, while accepting that other Christians will do the same and vote differently than you. And finally, number 10, it's more important that your soul be filled with love than it is for your political team to win the game. And that right there, as a Christian, that's something that really is important to make sure that we don't allow this process to make us feel like if you're voting for this person, you're not Christian. Or if you're voting for this person, you don't love God the same way I love God, because that means that you're for killing babies, or you're for you don't like this race, or any of that stuff. It's something.
I'm sorry. I'm getting lost. It just feels like word salad.
Word salad, yeah, 100%.
On about all these different things, and I can't really.
You say nothing.
Are you a Christian, Melanie? Are you a Christian?
Salad. it's just
Are you
you're
a
just
Christian?
talking
Are
about
you a
all this
Christian?
stuff, and it really there's no concrete
Melanie,
points.
are you a
It's like
Christian?
Kamala. There's no
Melanie,
policy.
are you a
It's
Christian?
just feel
Melanie,
good language.
Melanie, are you a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian, born and raised, went to Christian school, went to Christian college. Like,
and that was word salad.
This is why.
And that was word. Hold on.
to do with any of this. Everything that you said was some pastor giving word salad points that, in my opinion, really didn't nail down anything. Like this move
That's
the
the problem.
conversation
That's
ahead.
the
because
problem.
It's not
That's
a
the
problem.
problem.
You
That's the problem.
What you just said. Does anybody even understand one point of his? Could anybody repeat back what he said, or does it sound like Kamala in one of her word salad speeches?
That's the problem. Y'all, listen, some of y'all, unfortunately, have turned this political race and these political parties and these candidates into idols. To the point where y'all mention Trump more than y'all mention Jesus.
But no, it's not even about that. It's not even about that.
Generalities about everybody else. You seem to want to judge everybody else's Christianity and their religious walk. That is not your place.
I need you to use like a cogent point.
Where their walk is, or where their heart is, or that they see Trump as Jesus. Let's get to some real policy points and not this touchy-feely spiritual word salad that you're putting out there. It makes no sense. It's not moving the needle. Let's move on.
Baby, my spirit is irritating your demons. That's the problem.
Nah, you but see, look, but look,
no, your demons. Your demons.
Melanie, hold on. D-Wayne.
Oh my God.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Literally.
Wait.
I'm literally saying how Christians need to stick together even amidst this. And the first thing come out your mouth is word salad. That just don't even.
It was word salad. I can keep it real. Do you not want me to tell you truth, or do you want me to give you?
Let's actually. I want to get to. Hold on, wait. Let's actually get to. Let's get to ABL.
What's biblical about what you just said, baby? What's biblical about what you just
I don't listen. This is not a debate about my spirituality, my Christianity. These are about the points. You are taking it to a place when you've made things personal. You're asking people personal questions that are none of your business, and it has nothing to do with the political debate. Let us move on. This is not how you conduct something, and you keep making personal judgments about people that you do not know. This is not productive.
What judgment?
Hold on, wait. Hold tight.
No, it's just that it was just he's so long-winded with this thing, and I could not land down anything that he was saying.
Man, welcome to what it feels like to listen to Donald Trump run for political.
So hold on, so hold tight real quick. ABL, did you have an actual point to make?
Tight over there. Look at it. Why are you so tight?
What I wanted to say is I was listening. Look, I didn't want to interrupt. Really, after a few seconds, I wanted to be like word salad, but I let him finish. I want to let him get the full word out so he can express himself and really get everything. Reading down the list at 10 points, I'm like, my man, you're not saying anything. And this right here is part of the reason, another reason why I'm not Christian, because you go to church and you hear this kind of pastoring and it's nothing. People that want to go feel good and they want to hear things and make them feel nice and warm and fuzzy and stuff like that. They get this kind of information. But a man like me and a lot of my friends and women, we don't like that. We're not trying to go hear some talking guy just, kind of pimp at us. We want to hear is real stuff, real substance. What you said lacked substance.
That's why
Christian
men have left
or no
the church.
Christian. Exactly. That's why we're not there.
They have left the
because
church
if I'm gonna get that, look, if I'm gonna get that on Sunday morning, I'm gonna watch football instead because you didn't give me anything.
Brother, I'm not surprised by that answer from you. I'm not surprised by that answer.
Sorry, you don't know me though. You don't know me. You know nothing about me.
No, you just listen. Judgments about people.
Nothing about me.
Listen, brother. If you saying that you're not Christian, then I would say that a pastor.
But you don't know me.
Listen, if you're saying that you're not Christian, then a pastor who wrote about, this is where amidst this election season, where Christians shouldn't become divided and put politics above our love for Christ. I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, that just sounds like baloney to me. With all due respect,
but you're the only person that's talking down to people, just like Obama, and making judgments on where we are. You just told me you're stirring
so
up.
Guys, at this point, we not. So at this point, we have completely. Guys, we gotta, because now, guys, hold tight, guys, because guys,
hold tight, Mel.
At this point, we are. Hold on, D.
Hold tight, D1.
Because right now we not even at this point. We have completely exited all substance. We literally just talking back and forth at each other. And what I want to do at this point is I want to get the community involved, because we went through three
Right.
major topics that's happening. Tomorrow, people are heading down to the polls. And the purpose of this is to give people some insight, some education, and give them some information that's going to help them make the best decision at the polls tomorrow. So actually, let's do two things. One, let's do one thing here. Let's drop a poll to ask who our people are voting for. Two, let's actually go ahead and put the Zoom link, because I want my people to come backstage. This is going to be rapid fire, very briefly. Okay, I want you to be brief and brilliant, not tell me your life.
And you got to tell them exactly what you want from them, because I'm getting ready to drop that in there. And yeah,
Absolutely.
and be patient with us, guys. We doing the production. We got all these people in there. Lano, take your time. Take your time, because we want people to look good. So take your time and do your thing.
Absolutely. But what I want you to
I
do
just dropped
is
that link. I'm
literally,
appealing to the top.
I just want you to tell me who you are voting for and why. Be brief and brilliant. You will have no more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And we will go ahead and go to the next person. I'm going to just bring a couple people up, and that's how we're going to close out tonight's show.
Yeah.
First of all, I appreciate everybody. Again, this was a passionate discourse. That's what I expect. Nonetheless, we talking politics. But again, thank y'all, every single one of y'all, for coming up.
And real quick, I'm not going to drop that poll. I'm just going to close it out. We're done for the polls today. This was the last one. Should abortion access be banned? 57% of people, this is 16 to 7, this is pretty much 1,700 votes. 7% of people say yes. You got 30% at no, and then you got another 14% at undecided. So it looks like, I'm assuming without those three major things, exceptions that we talked about, people looking to ban abortion. But this is something that is going to be taken care of on the state level. So I'm going to close that poll out. And then I'm going to go real quick to some super chats. Don't forget, guys, we highlighting super chats, but it's really over $20, guys, because super chats is really going nuts. I'm even having a hard time pulling these things up.
Go ahead and read it.
Actually, listen.
You want to read bring the first guest? Let's go ahead and bring the first guest
There's
up.
so many super chats. We're going to read them in a second.
Let's go ahead and bring him up
bring
here.
him up.
So they said we know this guest very well. I'm excited. Let's see who we got.
Here?
I don't know. I can't see.
All right.
What's up? How are you?
What's going on? I love you guys.
Wait, hold on, wait. You got somebody.
No.
You got the wrong person unmuted. Look, everybody backstage need to mute.
Yeah.
You not the one who talking backstage. That's up right now.
And Audrey, you coming in with the smoke. They got the blue around you, so I think we know your political.
Make sure you unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm unmuted. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
Sure can.
Do me a favor. Give me your name, your age, and your location.
Okay, my name is Audrey. I'm in Atlanta and I'm 27.
All right. Who you voting for?
I'm certainly voting for Kamala. To me, there's no other option. And I didn't really have a question, but I watched.
What you got to say?
It's so who you voting for and why? That's pretty much it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. There we go. I was about to ask what were we supposed to be saying? I'm voting for Kamala because even if I didn't want to vote for Kamala, I haven't heard them say a single thing that would move the needle for Trump. Kamala, to me, is the only one who has presented a plan for Black men, even if other candidates, the previous presidential candidates over the course of the history of our country, they've never even presented, like Melanie said, a fake plan for Black men. So even if, Kamala's plan for Black men was fake, no other candidate has ever presented a fake or real plan for Black men. Kamala is the only candidate that actually has any type of integrity. Kamala is the only candidate that actually has been a lifelong politician who's genuinely qualified to be a president or any type of political leadership. And I don't understand how someone with a history like Donald Trump has since the 1970s, he has a history of being racist, especially towards Black people. His track record proves that, from the housing discrimination that he did to the 5 Black men that he took out news, pages for to accuse of something that they didn't do, from the comments that he made about the Charleston guy, called him fine people for literally harming and being violent to citizens who were peacefully protesting, even to now calling Kamala's brain small and insulting her intelligence simply because she's running against him.
There we go.
Shows that.
Hold on, wait. We got.
Okay, I'm done.
You at your 30 seconds. Actually, a little bit more. But I wanted you to get that off your chest there.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Audrey, for coming up here and letting us know who you voting for. Go ahead, Ryan.
And we'll give the panelists, we'll choose a panelist to go ahead and talk about that in a second.
Okay.
I just want to, matter of fact, Melanie, you was making so many faces on that one. How do you respond to what Audrey has just said?
It was just, it just speaks to how Democrats have always operated. Even if it's a fake plan for Black men, at least she lied to their faces and pandered and finessed and scammed for votes. What? Like, that's the criteria now, that it was insulting. And the fact that it's okay to come up with a fake, to scam for votes, to finesse Black men, I think is outrageous. But this is what the Democrat Party has been doing for years, making promises every 4 years and never fulfilling anything. They have been scamming and finessing the Black community for votes. And it's almost like she's been programmed to say, yeah, that's okay.
Too much TV.
At least she respects Black men enough to lie to them to their face.
Wow.
So we got somebody else back here. Ryan, you want to get some super chats in before we go to the next one?
Shout out to Purpose Over Potential again, going crazy tonight. We appreciate you. D1 pretty quiet is given he doesn't believe his own stance. Can we debate why D1 is voting for a president that supports transgenders and abortions, but he claims to be Christian? Very interesting. Shout out to Danny.
Bruh, at least somebody called it out. Somebody called it out. Thank you. And that other girl ain't said nothing but words, Tyler, because they conjure up stuff like that to. All right, first and foremost, the Central Park 5, everybody thought them boys was guilty, even the parents. The parents are the ones that told them to confess to the crimes that they didn't commit in the first place. So if you want to call them racist, you might as well call the Democrats racist because they put them boys on trial.
Danny Shade says 85,000 babies are aborted monthly. Of those, 40% are by Black women. Black only make up 8% of the Black population. Abortions are up 12% since handing Roe v. Wade back to the state. Women need better management. Shout out to KN again. We love you, KN. When an abortion happens late term, it's a terminal diagnosis. Christians generally want to pray for a miracle, but science-believing folks want to lower risk of carrying a baby that will die soon after birth anyway. This is my last one before we introduce the guest we just brought up. Shout out to Kenny Three Sacks. According to the CDC, Black people are 14% of the country, but
Also, another thing, if he's racist, why would he turn around and create opportunity zones for you guys to be able to invest in the same communities that you came from? Why would he turn around and pardon certain Black people that was in jail before he left office? Why would Van Jones be able to turn around and get him to sign criminal justice reform when he didn't even know anything about it? Didn't even know what it was or what was going on at that time. Why would he do that if he's racist?
Black women lead all races at 38% of all abortions in the U.S. How can you have generational wealth of no generation? We are voting for our own genocide. Very interesting. Let's announce that here.
Absolutely. We got you on here, brother. Go ahead and give me your name, your age, and your location.
What's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all for having me on.
So all of what you talking about, it ain't nothing but word salad. If I don't give a crap about you at all, period, why would I do something for you?
There we go. Look, one sister already went for Kamala, and then
it don't matter if I could turn around.
We got Donald Trump.
See,
we got my brother here coming up for Donald Trump.
You don't have to do
I ain't worried
that.
about the color too much, man.
It's all good.
But
Tell
see,
me why.
that's why I know you ain't saying nothing but
one of the
word
main
salad.
reasons
You
why,
don't have to
like I
do
said, I'm
that.
almost
And the
25,
reason why
but
you don't have to
what I
do
try to
that
do for
is
the most part
because
is really
we're
do a lot of
13% of the
reading and
doggone
research. So when it comes
13.5%
to
of the
Donald Trump,
population.
one thing
The
that I researched
smallest
is that he
population.
actually has done
Why
a
would
lot
he
with
have to
Black
turn
people,
around and
very
cater to us
prominent
just so he
figures in
can
our community,
run
such as
again?
Jesse Jackson,
When he
Nelson
can turn
Mandela,
around and do
and also
nothing
Mike
but
Tyson.
cater
But that's just
to
celebrity. You know
everybody
what I'm saying? As
else
far as like with
and
the
get
housing
all of them to
development
vote
plans
for
that he's
him
had,
and
I
still
forgot.
win.
I think it was exactly
Why
for
would
the
he
Trump
do
Tower.
that?
The lead director
Why would he
was
do
woman,
that?
and I think it was about like 30 something percent of the people that were employed were Black people. And the fact that he hasn't mentioned that just shows to me his humility. You know, so I really do think that he's really not doing this for himself. He's a billionaire, could have been on the boats, could have been chilling anywhere that he wanted to. But he chose to run for 8 years while being criticized. And like for the most part, he's really been demonized and dehumanized in every aspect that I've seen. And
Okay.
I just don't feel that it's really fair.
There you have
So
it.
yeah, that's why I'm voting for.
There you have it. Well, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate you for coming up here and sharing. And already I'm already seeing a pattern. I told Delano just now, I want to see if we could bring a man and a woman on. Only gonna bring a couple more. I want to just keep flip-flopping
And I
it
just wanna
because
say-
I want to see if we can get a pattern here. But go ahead.
Look, I would say, look, I most definitely I rock with you, D1, even though we're like obviously on political opposites, but everything that you're doing with like the Platinum Pledge, like I've even seen a couple of your posts that you made online, bro. I love your work. Like I said, and I even agree with you. This should not separate Christians, but I think there is a very, very, very clear divide as far as when it comes to the politics on these things, and we should be able to, on both sides, have a decent conversation to where we can hear each other out instead of calling each other names and doing things like that. So I do appreciate y'all for coming up here. Because
Hey,
we
man,
know
hey,
y'all-
hey, let me tell you, I'll vote this brother right here.
I got a
I'll
question for
vote
you.
this brother.
I just want to, because I'm getting all kind of texts. You know, folks text me. I just want to ask a couple people wanted me to ask you. One, do you believe in marriage? And two, do you believe in 100% provision from the man?
I most definitely believe in marriage. And as far as like 100%, I think if it's something that you can do, you should do. But if you can't, as far as for something to work towards, that should most definitely be the idea. Because to an extent, like with gender roles, I think things do function much better when the man is providing for the most part financially, because the woman, in a sense, she can really be able to support more in a way where she's not worried about finances. So I feel like that's just a completely different level of support.
No,
And
thank
we
you.
got it. We got it.
Thank you for being brief and brilliant on
And-
that one.
yeah, that was
and,
really
and
good.
get some context because people are like,
Well,
why the hell did you ask that
Well, see,
question?
the reason why I asked that because I'm just looking at the chat. I'm getting text messages. The ladies are blowing my phone up. They're like, "Hey, black men in mass don't believe in marriage, and black men don't believe in paying the bills. So how can you align with conservatism if you don't accept what it entails?" So
You know what?
That's what
How
the
about
ladies
this?
are saying.
Let me actually do
relaying
this
the question.
before we go ahead and bring my next lady up. I want a lady up. Let me ask. I want to ask you this, ABL. In the meantime, can a brother really be conservative if he doesn't believe in marriage?
Now, I think people are confusing different things. Your
Okay.
conservative behavior, like, so you got conservative, traditional conservative, and then you have how you vote. That's different.
Okay.
Like, I know guys that's LGBT, that's 100% Trump supporters. Like, so you can have whatever kind of lifestyle you want to live at the house. That's your life. You do your thing. We talking about policy. That's something totally different.
And why, Melanie, why do you think, or D1, why do you think those things are all kind of thrown together?
Mm.
When people
you
speak,
mean? 'Cause men-
because when people speak, say, "Hey, you're a conservative," they assume, "Hey, it's also all of these lifestyle things included in the way that you vote as well."
I mean, I think it's because you know they always tie it to like Christian values. You know, you will see more Christians being, especially white evangelicals being Republican, and they assume that Republican means conservative. These are actually different terms that have been blended together. It's not the same thing. But I will say, if we want to get into should men pay all the bills and should they do this, that, and the other, I mean, that's the whole, you know, I cut my teeth in the whole dating market, and I was a mentee of Kevin Samuels, so that may not be where we want to go right now.
She said, "Y'all already know where I stand."
Right.
So check it out. I actually got my sister here. What's up with you, sister? How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you guys?
I'm blessed. Give me your name, your age, and your location.
I'm Nastasia. I'm 34. I'm actually in Europe right now.
Woo!
Oh, it's nighttime over there. Ain't it?
Nastasia, wait, you got a
Night-night.
citizen?
Early
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes,
Okay, I got you. So who you voting for?
I would be voting for Trump.
Whoa,
Wow.
we got a woman voting for Trump. See, I thought she broke the pattern. Okay, and why is that?
Yeah, multiple reasons. Well, one of the reasons is that God already showed me that Kamala, the things that she's for is completely against him. So she's literally a walking altar. And so I'll never stand and vote for an altar that's against the altar of God. Like, I didn't do all this work of getting rid of generational curses to then come into agreement with somebody who's literally bullface against God. Like, I don't care about anything else. Because at the end of the day, what we see in the Bible is that for idolatry, God gives wicked leadership. When the Israelites were idolatrous, he said out of his wrath, he gave them King Saul, right? So, you know, my brother up here with the hat on, sorry, I don't know your name.
ABL.
But I know you're not a Christian, but I want you to know that all Christians don't fall for anything, okay? All Christians stand for when you're actual, not unactual, but like when you raise up inside of yourself and you really continue to submit to God and you continue to lay down your presuppositions, your predispositions and everything. And he's like, and you look at things for face value, you see what he stands for, what he doesn't, and that's how you make your decisions. Everything else becomes a moot point after that because you don't want to be on the wrong side of him. So I think putting God in reverence and honor and respecting him is above everything else. And everything else from my own personal life will fall into place because of that, because he will honor my obedience to what he says above anything else. It doesn't even matter what else happens in the world. And so
wait, hold tight, because I think you gave us quite a bit. I want to throw this to D1 because this seems to be the rhetoric. I mean, we literally had Tiffany Montgomery on the platform,
and she literally said Kamala's a witch.
Correct, and it's not just her. I have seen loads of people communicating this. So D1,
for sure,
when you get Christians specifically, or just people in general, who are communicating that there could potentially be one of the candidates who practices or somehow is affiliated with the dark side of spirituality, what do you think about that when you hear that?
I don't think too much of it because I've heard people say the same thing about Donald Trump. So honestly, I don't put too much stock into when people say that. And also, as a man of God, you know, I'm focused on loving people the way Jesus did. When people lead with God told me this, God told me that, that's something that I think we have to be very careful about, because that serves as a shield for whatever they're about to say after that, because no one wants to be on the side of saying, you lying, God ain't tell you that. So when people lead with that, my thing is like inside Christianity, I'm not trying to discount or and I love what this sister out there in Europe, Imani, is speaking about. Like I genuinely love her heart. I think that when people say that God showed me this or God revealed this to me about this candidate or about this person, I think a lot of Christians have experienced, like I've had hundreds of people say that God told them that I was their husband. You know what I mean? And that right there let me know that, man, a lot of people are hearing a voice, but they'll attribute that voice to God, you know, and it's well-meaning Christians, it's real God-fearing believers. But when we get to the point, I don't think that Trump or Kamala is the Antichrist. I don't think that either one of them is going to lead to the end of the world. And guess what? If the world does end, we going to heaven. So what we worried about? You hear me? Like people.
Well, I want to say one thing before I go.
Make it brief. Make it brief.
Very brief. Very brief.
Very brief. Whenever anybody gets a revelation from God, you know, he still speaks. There's Rhema word, there's Logos word, right? Whenever he speaks, if it doesn't line up with scripture, then you know it's not him. It's not a familiar spirit, right? So if abortion and Moloch and even everything in the scripture, if you're looking at somebody who's literally standing for all the things that God calls an abomination, and I'm like, okay, this person, I hear that she's an altar. Then other people are like, hey, she's a witch. I didn't hear she was a witch, but I knew she was an altar because God said it. And then I go to the word and it says that can't be a familiar spirit. Familiar spirits don't speak the word of God in the way that God wants to say it so that you know what's going on. They speak it in a way to twist you.
Okay,
so
wow.
There we go.
That's really a fair argument. But thank you guys. God bless
Thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Ryan,
yeah, D1, listen.
Ryan, just to expound upon that young lady's heart and her comment that she made. Like, people speak as if Trump is totally anti-abortion. Trump is not anti-abortion. So that's the thing, to where if that is being used as the grounds for why Kamala is a witch to some people and is an altar to other people, that's the thing, is like Trump is not sitting here like, you're on this side of the issue and I'm completely against abortion. So that's where the goalpost moves, and I see that, and I think people don't want to admit that when they've already made their mind up. Once again, I'm here tonight. I got a dip by 10 p.m., but I'm here tonight to speak to people that are undecided, once again, because when people have made their mind up, they're gonna say whatever they have to say and move the goalposts to fit whatever narrative they want to continue to buy into, and myself included. Man, I had a conversation with Donald Trump, with his wife. You heard me? With his old lady. Like, I done met with her before. We did a speaking engagement together. Like, I don't have any hate or vitriol towards that man, towards his family at all. And it's just something to where I wouldn't call him a witch. I don't feel like he's the Antichrist. But when I see that rhetoric from people who support him towards Kamala, it's just like, it just hit different, because I firmly disagree that she's the Antichrist or that he's the Antichrist. I just want to go on record.
Thank you for sharing. We got 5.
Absolutely.
So
we'll hold tight, because we get ready to close it out. We know D1, you got to go, and we just respect, both ABL and Melanie Symes. So real quick, shout out to 7N. I'm a conservative and voted Trump, but bro, you don't want a real relationship with God, because other people are hypocrites. Just because you jump don't mean I'm gonna follow you. Shout out to Dwayne Johnson. D1, since you're undecided, my question, I don't believe he says undecided, he's independent. He says, my question with you being a man of God, what's your position with Kamala's stance on abortion and Wall State allowing them to term abortion? We're speaking about that now. Shout out to Maria Lewis, says, as a believer, God gives us a choice, and he gives us grace and mercy for our mistakes and missteps. Have the same pro-life energy with Black lives and the number of death penalty killings during Trump presidency. This last one I'm gonna read right here. Shout out to Revon Kirkendall. Most laws regulate morality, especially in your immorality harms others in society. Abortion kills someone else who is defenseless, and the dad who also created this life may not agree.
there you have it. This is gonna be the last caller that we taking here for tonight, and we going out here with a bang. This is a familiar face to me. It look like this is my big uncle right here calling in from Thailand. It's Will, man.
Oh, Will, what's up, man?
What's up, Will? How you living?
Boy, you looking real healthy over there, man. You look
That's
different,
that's
bro.
that vegan diet. You lost all your damn fat in your body. You're hungry. Go
This man
eat.
moved from the U.S. to Thailand.
Go eat. So, but let me ask you, for people who don't know, you give me your age, your age, your name, your age, and your location.
My name is Will. I'm 43, and I'm currently living in Thailand.
With that strong Brooklyn accent, that's family right there. That's my
Crazy.
roots. All right.
Bronx,
So,
the Bronx.
oh yeah. All right, but let's talk about it. Who you voting for?
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting this one out actually, but if I was voting, I would probably lean more towards Trump.
Okay, and why is that?
I believe that as a people, I look at things through the lens of a Black American because that's how I identify. And I've come to the belief that identity politics is destructive to our people. And I don't appreciate the fact that Kamala and the left-wing party leans on identity politics while at the same time refusing to do anything specifically for the people that they lean on. I believe that they understand the most guaranteed way to success in American society is through
So, guys, I got to get up in the morning, but I'll see y'all later. Peace out.